your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace, making you more informed as a consumer and more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a great lineup for you today. We're going to bring on Robert Paredes, Flux Funding as well, mortgage expert, contributor, all things real estate. We're going to talk about mortgage broker versus banks, hometown heroes, rent versus own, and also going to break down this new Biden administration law on 680 credit scores and above, how that's going to affect people. Also, Nick Schriver, Decorating Elves, in studio, supply chain, and also the benefits, the 5 benefits of utilizing outdoor lighting with Nick Schriver coming up here from Decorating Elves on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, Tucker Carlson Speaks. He's got a new video that dropped. It was already at like 50 million views within the first little short period of time. So we're going to touch base on that as well. And we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air as part of our strategy to help our sellers sell faster for more money by giving them maximum exposure on these real estate properties. 14 Baywood Drive in Palm Harbor. This is a gorgeous home, a waterfront community, private boat ramp, boat dock down there as well. Bay access at 14 Baywood Drive in Palm Harbor. Vaulted ceilings, gorgeous home. Look at that kitchen, just a beautiful kitchen. If you're watching our TV show version or maybe catching a replay on our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,913 square feet, completely remodeled 3-story home. Wood-burning fireplace with a living room as well in the living room. Vaulted ceilings, pool and screened-in back porch, and you have access to the Gulf of Mexico with a private boat ramp, community boat ramp, that is. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We got a 100-acre listing at Pebble Creek Court. That's Four Corners, Florida, over in Orlando. $13 million listing from a partnership we have with the Meraki Group and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also, Livian Coastal Elite is our new brand. 100-acre property, $13 million prime development opportunity. Excellent location for short-term rental community because you're close. You're like 10 minutes from Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, downtown, and more. Pebble Creek Court, Four Corners. Let all your friends know that are in real estate development that they got to reach out to the Consumer Quarterback Show. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And a quick shout out to our friends over at Discovery Golf Cars. Discovery Golf Cars, if you're planning to buy a golf cart, we highly recommend you work with them. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. They've got the EasyGo, the Star EV, the Cushman, new and pre-owned. Check them out online, DiscoveryGolfCars.com. And my 2 dogs love to go for a ride. Carter and Charlie absolutely love it. If I pop that garage door open, Nick, you know, it's funny. They see me pop that garage door open sometimes, and all it takes is just, you know, just a little bit, maybe a foot, and they're like, whoosh, I'm on the golf cart. You know, they're jumping on that golf cart, rolling out.
Yeah, before you've even got on it, they've already found their spot.
Oh, yeah, they're ready to go. They're like, okay, Dad, take us for a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you were going to go or not going to go, they're already there.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a few times I'm like, nope, too busy. Go back inside. That's right. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, man. So what's new in your world?
So, I mean, you know, just enjoying the beautiful weather out there, enjoying Tampa Bay like always, you know, like everybody is. I'm hoping they're getting outdoors, enjoying their outdoor rooms, enjoying, you know, their personal residences, and all of those things. That's what we're always encouraging people to do. Get outdoors, enjoy those outdoor rooms, enjoy that lanai. And while you're enjoying it, let us put some lights out there so you can enjoy it longer into the evening. So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So does the property owner need to do any like root maintenance with these different systems to keep a system working?
So routine maintenance is definitely a big deal and something that should be done on a regular basis, okay? So very much like a lot of other mechanical things that happen in the home, your air conditioning, maybe a sprinkler system, even like your automotive car or even that golf cart, there's routine maintenance that needs to be done to keep it working at its optimum performance. So we recommend that on either a quarterly or a biannual or annual basis. Really just depends on the age of your lighting system and how much plant material you have. You know, we have a couple of commercial hospitality type properties that we're actually doing it even more regular, but somewhere in that range, right? So one of the things that we're doing it here for you as your outdoor lighting contractor, or you're doing it yourself, is you should be cleaning those lenses, right? Which is that glass filament on your lights that shine up or shine down, that illuminate onto things. So every now and then, you get some bugs in there. Maybe you get some spiders in there. Maybe you get some things in there, and it just needs cleaned out. Sometimes you get that hard water, or you get that reclaimed that leads a little bit of mineral deposits, and so what we do is we go in with a CLR, we spray it, we clean it, we wipe it down, we make sure it looks good. We spray the fixtures. A lot of times they're brass or they're copper, and then we spray them and wipe them down with a weatherized protectant. It just keeps the finish good, keeps them working well, as well as checking things, right? So as the outdoor and the landscape is a living, breathing, growing thing and is always in motion, the thing is we really don't notice it because we come in day out. When we come back every 4 months or every 6 months, we notice different changes to the landscape, and so we make adjustments, right? So sometimes these beds are growing big, that those shrubs are growing tall, maybe the beds are moving a little bit, like the grass line's getting in or it's coming out just ever so slightly, and over time that becomes a thing. So we're making adjustments to what the lighting fixtures are being aimed on, as well as trees get taller, shrubs get bigger, things like that. So when we first install a lighting system, we illuminate it here and it looks really great. But 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that thing's gotten to be 2 or 3 times the size. You got to make those adjustments accordingly. And then, you're also checking to make sure everything's on. So when you have a lot of light fixtures illuminating a lot of different things, every now and then one will go out, or a landscape guy will clip it, or somebody will be having too much fun and knock it over or whatever. Those things happen. So getting back out there and addressing that maintenance. It's not quite as consistent as it would be, say, inside your house, inside an air-conditioned, climate-controlled room with, like, big walls and structure, where that thing never moves. It never gets any activity. There's nothing living, breathing, and growing around it, so it stays consistent. And all you have to do is the next time the lamp fails, replace it. And, with the LEDs, that's become a significantly longer period of time. So, yeah, there's a lot that happens in that, as well as when we get into a transformer and another lighting system, we go through actually a 16-point checklist. So there's a lot of things that happen with the meter that we check on, kind of like the doctor using his stethoscope to check on things. So we'll check the amp draw, we'll check voltage, we'll check switching mechanisms, we'll do a significant amount of checks at the automation pieces and at the transformer to make sure that system's working correctly.
Yeah, we're talking with Nick Schriver here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, decoratingelves.com, online at decoratingelves.com. And with the economy, it's I want to ask you about supply chain. It's where I'm going here with that. It's supply chain. It's interesting. In yesterday's show, we talked about UPS having the first decline in annual revenue since 2009 for UPS. The number of cardboard boxes being created and utilized, record lows. What are you seeing in your business, and how does that specifically to supply chain and inventory?
So as far as inventory goes, we're right now going into May of 2023, we're very strong with inventory. We're very strong with our turnaround times. We're very strong with being able to take care of the customer and deliver everything that they're asking for. So we have a lot of inventory in our building, on our vans. A lot of our suppliers are very strong with inventory. And during COVID, that wasn't necessarily always the case. And some of that's because, we shifted, like, hey, this vendor's not getting it. Are they ever going to get it?
Right.
And if they weren't getting it, then, we shifted vendors. So, that's become a thing. And so right now we're in a 1 to 2 week, 3 week turnaround on getting product in and getting things back out and back delivered.
Now, LED systems as well. I think one of the questions I get sometimes is they're very efficient, so it's not costing much on the electric bill to have a nice outdoor lighting system, is it?
No, the LED systems, a good, like an average size, maybe 3,000 square foot home to do one side is probably similar to running like a 45 or a 50-inch TV, which isn't really that much energy anymore. So, you're pretty consistent with the energy consumption. It's actually probably lower than what that TV runs. So it's not, they're very, very consistent. They're very energy efficient. You know, a lot of people get concerned, hey, you know, I need to have those things turn off so I'm not burning all my energy. The reality is that they're really not using that much energy compared to a lot of other things in their home.
Right.
And especially burning a lot of energy compared to what they used to. So, you know, what I grew up with, you know, everything was a 100-watt lamp or a 75-watt lamp. I mean, we're doing everything that those used to do now with 6-watt, 7-watt, 8-watt,
Wow.
which is 85% less consumption than what that used to be. So it's definitely significant. I mean, I can do an entire yard with what we used to do to just to light one room, or what we used to light one fixture with. So, the energy consumption is very low, and you know that's really been a huge benefit in helping the end consumer with their with their monthly and annual cost and maintenance and keeping that stuff up.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love the technology getting so much better year after year. In most cases. 727-263-3707. Call or text the hotline if you'd like more information. 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com. We're going to take a quick break. More with Nick Schriver from Decorating Elves when we come back. Plus, we're going to ask him the 5 benefits of outdoor lighting, and also going to play a clip from Tucker Carlson coming up here as well. Tucker, of course, if you haven't heard about that, it was a departure from Fox, and they say it's mutually, but I doubt there's much mutual to that. So it's interesting to see. We got a clip here. Tucker speaks, 50 million views or so already on that video. So I'm going to play that next when we come back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We've got a property on Garnett Drive. We just did a $50,000 price drop on this property, down to $399. It's 4501 Garnett Drive in Newport Richey. This is in Gulf Harbor. So we did a major price reduction. Owner is motivated. We want to get this sold. This is a hot listing here. It's a nice property too. 2215 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Private community boat ramp, open floor plan, cathedral ceiling, fireplace in the great room, upstairs loft, and it's a golf cart friendly community. This is waterfront as well. You've got a canal in the backyard with bay access. $399 is the new price. 4501 Garnett Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. Pasco County, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. So there's a residential property for you. I got a commercial property for you here as well. 4404 Orient Road in Tampa. This is a beautiful building, over 6,000 square feet. It's a well-built office building, currently completely rented out with tenants. Cash cow at 4404 Orient Road in Tampa, just down the road from the casino. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, coming up, Nick Schriver, Decorating Elves, part of our local push. We always talk about supporting the local economy by supporting our on-air expert contributors. We've got Nick Schriver in studio, Robert Paredes coming up as well, Flux Funding as well. But, you know, it's very important to support the local economy, support the folks that are on this station. Very important to do that. Before we do, I want to get to this clip here with Tucker.
When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
So sure to please his fans, as it does tease more to come, but no explanation for what just happened.
Right. Now, to that question of why he's out at Fox, there have been a variety of theories flying around, and a number of outlets are now making claims based on supposed inside sources. What are they saying?
Well, I'd say the story that's getting the most attention right now comes from Vanity Fair. So their reporter said sources at Fox told him that a lot of factors, of course, played into it, but the final decision to pull the trigger came down to a speech that Carlson gave at a gala for the Heritage Foundation. So Carlson framed the political divides the nation is facing right now as a spiritual battle.
But when the Treasury Secretary stands up and says, you know what you can do to help the economy? Get an abortion. Well, that's like an Aztec principle, actually. There's not a society in history that didn't practice human sacrifice. Not one. I checked. Well, what's the point of child sacrifice? Well, there's no policy goal entwined with that. No, that's a theological phenomenon. And that's kind of the point I'm making. None of this makes sense in conventional political terms. When people or crowds of people, or the largest crowd of people at all, which is the federal government, decide that the goal is to destroy things, destruction for its own sake. Hey, let's tear it down. What you're watching is not a political movement, it's evil.
Yeah, he's right on point with that. You know, good is, what do you say? Honesty is going to last. You know, truth. It's biblical truths, and it's a spiritual battle. It really is when you look at that. What certain people are saying and pushing, and when you look at the heritage speech, if you haven't heard that, go listen to the whole thing. It really makes a lot of sense. Good versus evil, and to censor someone and basically take him off the air for him pointing out, I think two things got him: January 6th and the pharmaceutical industry. You look at the pharmaceutical industry, the amount of dollars pushing through all the major networks, and what he said was very courageous. And of course, January 6th, you know, they didn't want to go with the Fedsurrection line of thinking there, so he gave an alternative. So again, dissenting opinions, we got to slap those down. We can't have that. The uniparty and the globalists can't have that. All right, coming back to the local market here again, local economy. I like to touch on some of those national stories just because it's so near and dear to my heart, especially as a Christian and, you know, a believer in Jesus and God and biblical values, Judeo-Christian values. But let's bring it back local here to the local economy. We've got Nick Schriver in studio, decorating Elves, talking about we talked about supply chain and the inventory levels, and also, you know, the amazing technology that LED systems are. And I do want to get to those 5 benefits as well, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, some of the benefits with the LED systems is that there's lower energy consumption over its predecessor in the halogen. It's also given us, as a designer, the ability to hide things and build a lot of different lighting pieces out that we weren't originally able to do, or that we've really... Our palette of tools and our palette of our artistic abilities have really grown significantly in the last several years with all the different ways and things that have been manufactured now. So it's really cool on a lot of the awesome lighting that we can do, things that we weren't able to do before or things that we had to do differently. So that's huge, been in the LED. And then obviously the LED does have a certain life cycle to it, right? If we're doing what they call a replacement bulb or replacement lamp, indoors usually are getting 7 to 10 years on those where they're in a climate controlled. They're usually doing well. In the Tampa Bay area, with all the humidity, you know, the summer storms, the salt air, and all of that, which are all things that the LEDs do not like. They're the nemesis of LED. Usually you're getting somewhere in the 5 to 7, 5 to 8 range. Most of the major brands and manufacturers are going to give us 5 years on those products. And then we found that you're usually getting somewhere between 5 and 7 years of performance. Now, a lot of people go, well, my stuff's still working and it's been out there for 7 or 8 years. And it's like, okay, yeah, it is still working, but it's kind of like bald tires on your car.
Right.
Yeah, it's still getting you to where you need to go, but at some point it's going to compromise what you're doing.
Right.
And so in the LED world, what that means is things are getting dim and they're getting dimmer. So yeah, it may be lit, but it's not lit like it should be. So if you've got sidewalks and other things you use, a lot of times that becomes dim and you may think, hey, my eyes aren't as good, but it also may be that that technology has kind of started to dwindle and its performance is no longer good. And if that's the case, that's something that we should look at and we should get on. So the last piece of what you asked was the 5 benefits, right? So we get into that a lot, try to help people with those, whether it's a residential or it's hospitality or it's a business. One, we're trying to beautify, right? That is like the overlying key. Make everything look pretty, make the nighttime wonderful, and really, really highlight key features. In doing that beautification, one of the things that we're able to do is create usability. So that means, yeah, now you're getting more hours, now you're getting more benefits, now you're being able to use that more at night, right? We're getting safety, so now you can go from here to there without hurting yourself, without doing any of that, and that's very good. And then there's security, and a lot of times we're talking about this sense of security, the ability to look out your windows, see through your property, and know that no one's there, as well as detracting from others that come on. You know, people that are nefarious are usually not going to go onto a well-lit property.
Right.
And so then we have value, and that's basically all the money that you spend, right, going into that system and then coming back out and getting that value from there, okay? And so we just covered all 5. So we covered beautification, usability, safety, security, and value. So those are all the big benefits that we tell about a good outdoor lighting system will bring to you.
Yeah, I would add, like beautification, those, it goes along with home ownership pride, man. I think there's that pride there, that when you have that, and I love the system that you put on our home. And by the way, first class experience, awesome techs that come out, everything from the sales process, from the design to the the follow through. And I just love it. That home ownership pride. You got
Absolutely.
the lights coming up on the oak trees. You got that moss hanging down on those just majestic looking oak trees. And in the backyard, we got oak trees too. And it's just gorgeous overlooking that water. And then, I just love that. And the appreciation that you will see too from your property as well.
Yes. So imagine, you've just had one of the roughest days you've had in a minute, business-wise, work-wise, personal relationship.
Yep.
And you're coming home. It's dark. You're exhausted, and you pull in, and your house is dark, and it doesn't look that great. And it doesn't change your mood. You're just like, here we go. Let me see if I can go to bed and just call this day over. Now, if we flip that script, and it's the same day, the same roughness, you come home, and you're 150 yards from your property, what you call your castle, and it's amazingly lit. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
No matter what that day was, you're getting 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds, a minute of relief.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's worth the price of admission.
Absolutely. I love it, man. It's awesome opportunity. DecoratingElves.com. Find them online, of course, on all the social media. DecoratingElves.com. Nick Schriver, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right, coming up, Robert Paredes, Flux Funding. We're going to talk about the mortgage industry, lending, rent versus own, mortgage bankers versus brokers, and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.